Hi there and welcome to the channel of A Disappointed Man with me, Jason Kennedy, the Disappointed Man. Now it is Tuesday and that means tags, but sadly no one has seen fit to tag me this week. No matter, unperturbed, I went over to a wonderful channel, Jim's Books Reading and Stuff, where I found the answer to my prayers, the Great Hitchcock Book Tag, originally created by Bart J. Gilbertson. Link in the description below. There are 9 prompts, but before we begin, by way of a preamble, I will just share with you my top 3 movies by Hitchcock, who is, after all, one of my favourite directors. I may be about to upset any cinephiles tuning in, but I can't find a place for Vertigo in my top 3. I know, many people consider it not only Hitchcock's finest film, but perhaps the finest movie ever made. Sorry about that. I'm not a movie buff, these are just the personal choices of the Disappointed Man. Don't get upset, don't write anything nasty in the comments. Okay, at 3, North by Northwest. I love how suave Cary Grant is, the crop dusting scene is amazing, and the climax on Mount Rushmore is unforgettable. At number 2, Rear Window. This is the Hitchcock movie I've watched the most times, at least 10, I believe. Jimmy Stewart as the leading man is superb, and Grace Kelly is equally good. But at number 1, perhaps a surprising choice, maybe not, it's Strangers on a Train. I love the original novel by Patricia Highsmith, and this adaptation is pure genius from the first frame to the last. Okay, with that out of the way, let's start on the prompts. Number 1, Spellbound. Name a book that had you so enthralled that you could not put it down. Okay, now one genre I've never spoken about on the channel is crime, but when I look back at all the books I've read, one author's books jump out in terms of the way I devoured all of his work in such a short period of time, and that is the crime novelist James Ellroy. And of his work, 3 novels really stand out. I simply could not sleep until I'd finished them. I think I stayed up until 5 or 6 in the morning, and they are The Big Nowhere, LA Confidential, and perhaps the best of the lot, The Black Dahlia. Yes, if you've not read any James Ellroy, an absolute treat. Okay, next. Number 2, Rope. Name a book where the murder weapon is anything other than a gun or a knife. I'm going to choose Hangover Square by Patrick Hamilton, which was the subject of review number 1. And the murder weapon here is a golf club. And the twist is that the character purchasing the golf club doesn't himself realize that he's going to use it in this way. He believes he's going to play golf with it, whereas we, the reader, do suspect the purpose for which it will be employed. Also, rather neatly, Patrick Hamilton wrote the stage play Rope, upon which Hitchcock based his masterpiece. Okay, next. Number 3, Vertigo. Name a book with a notable scene from a dizzying height. I've got 2 for you here. Firstly, Thomas Hardy's A Pair of Blue Eyes with its famous cliffhanger scene, which has an exceedingly sexy rescue, and also Peter Matthiessen's The Snow Leopard, a simply magnificent piece of travel writing, highly contemplative. Most of the action takes place in the high Himalayas in Tibet. Okay, next. Number 4, Psycho. Name a book where the main character is a psychopath. Okay, crime novels again. Let's have Jim Thompson's The Killer Inside Me, where the first-person narrator is a psychopathic cop in small-town America. Absolutely phenomenal read, very short and extremely powerful. Okay, next. 5, Frenzy. Name a book with a society or community in complete chaos. I'm going to go with G.K. Chesterton's The Napoleon of Notting Hill, in which the various boroughs of London declare themselves independent, raise their own armies, and then battle one another for control of the capital. It's an extraordinary piece of entertainment. If you've never heard of it, I strongly suggest checking it out. Okay, next. Number 6, Topaz. Name a book where gems or jewels are central to the plot. I'm going to go with the most obvious candidate, Wilkie Collins' The Moonstone. Often cited as the first detective novel in English, I love its use of multiple narrators, which Bram Stoker copied for his Dracula, And there are some astonishing twists in this story, and it also features one of the most suspenseful climaxes of any book I've ever read. Okay, next. Number 7, the birds. Name a story where a bird or birds play an important part in the story. Well, I thought this would be really difficult to find an answer to, but then it suddenly struck me. Barnaby Rudge, where there is a raven called Grip, who's one of the central characters in the story and extremely entertaining and intelligent, and he is the sidekick of the simple-minded Barnaby. He was also supposedly the inspiration for Pose, the Raven. Okay, next. Number 8, Marnie. Name a book with a shady or troubled female character. I'll go with Muriel Spark's The Driver's Seat, the subject of review number 9 for the channel. This features an extremely troubled female protagonist whose motives are unclear until the final page when, bang, it hits you like a sledgehammer. And more than that, it's been staring you in the face all the time. I can't say any more. It's an absolutely superb read. Okay, the final prompt. Number 9, tag some other channels. I'm not really into doing that anymore. I'll just leave it open. Anyone watching who has a channel and wants to do their own version, be my guest. All that remains for me to do now is bid you farewell. So, be safe, be strong, and I shall see you anon. Nanu nanu.